Hi friends, my name is Jorge Muñoz. I'm a senior instructor pilot working in El Salvador, but for today we are at our next destination. This time Switzerland it is, but we are not just at a random place in Switzerland. Now we are visiting Maienfeld, the place where the beloved Heidi series takes place, and oh my god, this place is something else. Today is December 28th. We just arrived to Switzerland last night. We got here thanks to Flixbus, but it wasn't an easy journey. For now, let's just talk about the beauty of this place. Like, for real, I would give my firstborn son to live here. We have seen cool places during this holiday, but nothing this far can even remotely compete against this place. If you noticed at the beginning of this video, I was driving a car. And since this is a budget holiday, obviously we did not rent a car. Instead of that, thanks to a traveler app that my friend Asensio used, we found this dude called Matthias. He was an angel in the darkness that let us invade his house literally for free during our 3 days in Maienfeld. We were literally a pest on his house. He went to the train station to receive us with beers in hand, gave us something to eat before bed. Even though we arrived almost at midnight, he didn't kill us while we were asleep. The next day, I mean today, because he was busy the whole day, he borrowed us his freaking car. After less than 12 hours of meeting us like it was nothing. He didn't even hesitate. He just offered us his car. I don't let Asensio drive my car even after 8+ years of knowing each other. But however, you'll probably hear more about Matthias later. At 9:30 AM, after devouring the breakfast that this angel on earth prepared us, we left his house and we arrived to this famous village where Heidi lived, cause yeah, apparently she was a real person. Question mark? I'm not that sure about that one. And up to this date, I cannot help but to be jealous of the people that lived there. I even got to hug a wooden statue of the real Heidi. I can check that one out from my bucket list. At 10:30 AM, we visited the museum/gift shop of the town, but nothing over there was particularly interesting for us. So instead we continued walking through the village and going up in the mountain. This was going to be our hiking day at Maienfeld. The weather was perfect, the scenery was also perfect, and we had the desire to see every point of interest of the Heididorf. Can you imagine being someone so lucky that you just wake up every morning and see all this? Those snowy mountains like those from Zelda Breath of the Wild, that endless grass field with a forest behind it. You hear nothing but quietness and the sounds of the nature, the sound of the water from the well of the village, and a couple of voices from the couple of neighbors that you have. You know, no noise, no stress, no busy life from the cities. I don't know about you, but for me that sounds like a pretty awesome way to spend the rest of my days. Picture this, you just woke up and as the healthy person that you have been inspired to be due to this place, you go out on a run every morning. You go running like it's nobody's business all over the mountains. When you get tired, you walk for a bit and take the time to appreciate the place where you are living and realize that you wouldn't change it for the world. Please excuse the cringe that you're about to see in the next fragments of this video. I just wanted to be cool, but it didn't work. Anywho, at 11:30 we started on our quest to climb the mountain as far as we could. Of course, we were going extremely slow, cause at any place that we turned our eyes to, we saw a beautiful place that demanded to be captured on a picture forever. Always journey before destination, am I right? By the way, if you haven't seen the previous video of our holiday, I'll leave that video on the top of your screen right now and on the description below. Halfway through the mountain, we found these terrifying wooden statues of Heidi and God knows what else. At 1 p.m. we started thinking that we were reaching the top. So we took a little bit of a break on a bench and then realized that we were still way off the top of the mountain. So we resumed our journey. After hiking for a while, we started noticing snow in the grass, and as you would expect, the temperature started to go down. Maybe also because the sun was starting to get lower and lower with each passing minute. But we still had like a couple of hours before the sun was completely gone. It was around 2 p.m. when we noticed that the fog was starting to get all over the place. What once was a perfect sunny day now was becoming a foggy afternoon. Besides that, we were very high up at the mountain. But for me, that fog just made the forest to look even more epic than before. I mean, look how sick was the mountain on the background covered in fog. If you have ever seen the movie Fantastic Mr. Fox, you will find this picture I took very similar to one of the final scenes on that movie. Around 3 p.m. we found this cute little cabin, and we thought once more that we had to be near the top of the place by now. Of course, some minutes later we discovered how wrong we were. But nevertheless, it was a good place to rest and take a couple more photos. Well, to be honest, I could perfectly say that about every inch on Maienfeld, and I would be right. The cabin was marked by hundreds of names. I guess the name of many couples that have already broke up by this point. Lol, come on, you can't deny me that that snowed forest right at the top of the mountain doesn't look epic. You can't deny me that these landscapes doesn't look like something that got out from Zelda Breath of the Wild. If for some reason you are wondering why we drove a car to come to this mountain, if Maienfeld is literally just a couple of houses, it's because Matthias the angel didn't live exactly there. Instead, he lived in another small town right next to Maienfeld, called Sargans, which were exactly at a 5-minute drive from each other. So no real big difference between Maienfeld and Sargans. I would be happy for the rest of my life in any of these two places. By this point, we gave up on the idea of reaching the top of the mountain. So we instead settled with going as far as we could before 4 p.m. because we wanted to go down back to the village before it was completely dark, where we could get lost, freeze to death, fall from a cliff, or worse, get eaten by something. My God, praise the sun. Can we all praise the sun on the top of this mountain? Look at that majestic sea of clouds before us. At 3:30 p.m., during our last effort of going as far as we could before heading back, Asensio started feeling a little bit weak, dizzy, and his vision turned blurred. That got us both worried, and he sat down in the grass for a couple minutes. I mean, if he passes out here, how on earth would I be able to help him? We had no phone signal over there whatsoever, no one was near us, and we were very high up in the mountain, and the sunset was not that far away. At that moment I started thinking, my man, if you pass out here, I'm sorry, but for me, you're dead. I will tell Matthias that you got eaten by a bear or something. Of course, I never told him that. Please don't tell him that I said that. After a couple minutes, since he sat down on the grass, I remembered that I had a couple of energetic bars left in my bag. They were for me, but I thought that maybe he needed them more than me. After all, we didn't eat nothing since breakfast. Luckily, minutes after eating those, like art of magic, Asensio felt miles better, and we resumed our way to the cabin that you just saw moments ago. That cabin was our last stop before heading back home. Once more we miscalculated the time, the fog was already all over us, the forest rapidly became some Resident Evil stuff and the sun was way more down than what we expected. But we went with wise philosophies like YOLO and Hakuna Matata. And the fear to die in the woods didn't stop us to take some more sick footage. Again, the tourist instinct was way stronger than our survival instinct. Remember that sea of clouds from before? Well, now we were inside the sea, and it was awesome. We went back all the way down, this time a little bit faster than on our way up, because this time we made no stops to rest. In fact, Asensio was going at it way faster than me, even though he was almost dying like half an hour ago. Even at this point, I was still mesmerized by every single thing of this mountain, and made sure to record as much as I could from the Resident Evil forest. Now we are talking Breath of the Wild no more. At 6:30 p.m. we finally made it back to the Heidi village, where we left Matthias' car, hoping nothing bad would happen to it. Like, come on, maybe a bunny or whatever could steal it. We just spent a couple more minutes over there, appreciating the village and the night landscape. While in the car, we were secretly hoping that Matthias was cooking something for us, but didn't wanna to get our hopes up because maybe that would be to ask for too much. At 6:50 p.m. we arrived to his house in Sargans, and to our surprise, it wasn't too much to ask. Matthias had us prepared what he called a typical dinner in Switzerland. Oh, by the way, Matthias has a beautiful cat and she ate with us, like the good girl she is. That was it for that day, but the next morning would be the one where we died, cause we were going skiing in the mountains. Again, thanks to Matthias' sponsorships. If you're interested on that video and more videos alike, please consider subscribing. If you found this video entertaining or fun in some way, please hit that like button, comment, share and all that stuff. And you can also check out this other holiday-ish playlist over here, or maybe a more educative playlist, like this one, where I teach you about human factors if for some reason you happen to be interested on that. Who knows? I'll be seeing you in another video just like this one. Bye bye.